All right, welcome everyone. We are so thrilled to be here tonight. Hello and welcome to the very first UCLA Tarjan Center Screening Series event. I am Dr. Jasper Estabio, Director of Training for the Tarjan Center, and it is my pleasure to be here with you all tonight. We are so excited to be screening episode 3 of the Emmy Award-winning series Love on the Spectrum US. Following the screening, we'll also have a panel discussion with Cian O'Leary, series director, and cast members Dani, Steve, Subodh, and Aarti. We will also have an audience Q&A, so please submit your questions for our panelists by clicking onto the Q&A button on the bottom of your Zoom screen and typing in your question there. We will provide closed captioning during the panel and during the Q&A. Unfortunately, we don't have captions during the screening, but if interested and if you're able, you may watch the episode on Netflix. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin the screening of Love on the Spectrum US. All right, thank you everyone for being here and attending our very first screening of Love on the Spectrum for our first screening series. What a joy it's been to screen this episode. So I'll be introducing our panelists, and it's my pleasure to announce right here and now that we will also be having a surprise guest joining us later on the panel, so stay tuned. But let's start off with some introductions. So I'll start off with Dani. Dani lives in Los Angeles. She founded her animation company, Danimation Entertainment, at age 14, and she's passionate about working with individuals with disabilities. On the show, as we saw today, she navigates the ups and downs of dating. We also have with us Steve. Welcome. Steve lives in San Francisco, and on the show, we see him begin to explore the world of online dating. We also have Subodh. Hi, Subodh. Let's see if I can find him on here. The camera's coming on, keeping us waiting. Hi, Subodh and Aarti.
Sorry, our video was having trouble. Hi.
Hi there. It's okay. Kept us waiting. It's so wonderful to see you. So Subodh lives in Los Angeles, California. He loves to travel and enjoys cooking. On the show, we see him learn dating skills like we did today, as well as begin a relationship. Aarti also lives in Los Angeles. She's Subodh's sister and very supportive of helping Subodh jump into the world of dating and romantic relationships. We get a glimpse of how how close the family is and how much they support Subodh's journey. And then lastly, we have Keanu Cleary, who is a documentary and unscripted director and producer. He's the director and co-creator of Love on the Spectrum. So we're thrilled to have our panelists with us tonight, and I'm going to hand things over to Dr. Liz Laugeson, Center Director, to begin our panel discussion.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Dr. Jasper Estabio for those nice introductions. I'm Liz Laugeson. I'm the director of the UCLA Tarjan Center, and I'll be moderating this portion of our Q&A discussion with our panel. So I'd like to begin by welcoming the cast of Love on the Spectrum US, who are joined by Cian O'Leary, the director of the series. Good to see all of you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, how great of you.
Oh, we were talking earlier, and it sounds like this may be the first time that some of our cast members have ever met during this screening here for this in the Zoom room. Is that right, Steve? This is the first time you're meeting some of your fellow cast members?
Absolutely correct. Very, very correct.
And I'm guessing for Subodh and Aarti, Dani, it's probably very nice to meet Steve finally.
Great seeing you, Steve.
Oh, the other way around. Thank you, Dani. Absolutely. This is great.
Wow. Pleasure. Definitely so excited to be part of this amazing panel.
Absolutely. Oh my, I know what you mean. It's really something. Watching you and getting to know you on the series is one thing, but now that I get to meet you and speak with you, this is really great. I can't wait to tell all these people that are asking me if I've met the others. Now I can say, yes, exactly. That's right. Very nice. Boy. What
all right. Well, I'm guessing Aarti and Subodh are also equally excited to meet Steve as well.
Yeah, living in Southern California, we've been very lucky that we got to meet Dani. We've met Abby and David as well.
Yes.
But we haven't had the pleasure of meeting Steve or Kaylin yet. So this is such a thrill, Steve. You're so wonderful on camera, and from what I hear from the staff, you were even more wonderful behind the scenes. So
Oh my gosh.
And my favorite part from that scene is when you climb up in the mountain and the wind blows you and your assistant. It's
unbelievable. You know, I used to love to go up there when I was growing up with my bicycle. In fact, it's that bicycle that's in the picture.
Right.
And oh my gosh, I love that area. They call that area Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
But they're like two mountains, basically. And oh my gosh, I know. I just I have so many memories going up there. But that day must have been the windiest that I can remember. I mean, it gets windy up there anyway, but that was, oh my gosh.
Well, that is very sweet that one of Dani's favorite moments in the series was of Steve. That's very sweet. In fact, I might be asking each of you later if you have a favorite moment in the series. I'm also kind of curious to see how excited you are to see your fearless leader here, Cian O'Leary, who's the reason that we're all here today together.
Oh.
Hi, Cian. Good to see you.
Wow.
Great to see you all. Great to see everybody.
There
seeing you, Cian.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Meeting you all from back here in Australia.
Oh, is that where you are?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually in Brisbane at the moment. I'm filming a new series, and I'm in Brisbane. But yes,
Oh,
back in Oz.
Great.
Love it.
Are you going to be able to tell us?
Australia.
Go ahead, Dani.
It's a very busy time in Australia, and definitely am looking forward to new updates going on with Love on the Spectrum. Been honored and grateful to be part of this amazing series and getting to see all of you. And especially getting to see you again, Dr. Laugeson.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Dani. It's good to see you too. Cian, are you going to be able to give us a little glimpse of what you're doing now, or is this top secret stuff that you're filming?
It's pretty top secret. You know, it's a new series, so it's not Love on the Spectrum Australia. It's a new series. It does involve dating, but it's not Love on the Spectrum. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's going okay. But it's so great to see you guys. And you know, when you know, the reason that the US series worked and is so great and people love it so much is because of all of you. And it's so nice to see you all again. And even just watching the episode again now, it's like it's great. You know, it's you guys all just shine and come across so well, and we're so open and honest. And thanks again to everyone for being part of it. It's really been quite a ride.
Oh, gee, we want to thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if all of our audience knows this or not, but you know, first off, congratulations on winning not one, not two, but 3 Emmys for this series. My understanding is that Love on the Spectrum US swept all 3 categories that it was nominated for, taking home the Emmys for Outstanding Unstructured Reality Program, Outstanding Picture Editing for an Unstructured Reality Program, and Outstanding Casting for a Reality Program. So kudos to all of you. Very impressive.
It was pretty amazing. It was an amazing night, and it was a shame that we couldn't have everyone there. But I made sure I mentioned on stage when we won the casting, especially. I mean, it's not a casting award; it's a cast award. So it's for you guys. You guys should all feel like that award belongs to you because, obviously people fell in love with you all, and that's why that award was given. And yeah, it was pretty amazing to win 3 out of 3. It was a real surprise. So it's great. It's just, it goes to show that people are really, connecting with the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this Netflix series definitely has struck a chord with audiences. And we're so thrilled, at the UCLA Tarjan Center to be able to share this episode of Love on the Spectrum US with our audience here tonight. So I do have some questions. My first question is for Cian O'Leary, the director of Love on the Spectrum. So Cian, this is not your first foray into filming a docuseries about dating. for autistic adults. Full transparency, Cian and I met years ago when filming season 1 of Love on the Spectrum Australia, where one of the episodes featured a peers dating boot camp that I led with some of the cast members in Sydney. And it was a really fun experience. And little did we know at the time what a sensation that this show would create and that it would become international. So Cian, now that you have Love on the Spectrum US, you have an international audience through Netflix. You have 3 Emmys under your belt for this series. You know, it looks like the sky's the limit, but I think our audience would maybe be kind of curious to know how this series came about and what got you interested in exploring the dating lives of autistic people.
Yeah, so yeah, no, exactly. It was great having you as part of the original, what do they call it? The OG, is that what the term is? The OG series back in Australia. Yeah, so look, we had made, me and Northern Pictures and Karina Holden, the EP, who I've worked with for a long time, we made a series called Employable Me, which was about people with different disabilities looking for work. And so we actually made 2 series of that show, and throughout that process we met lots and lots of people who were autistic and who were looking for work. But we just, you know, as well as making that show, we got to know people really well, and we just kept hearing from people when we were telling their stories that finding love was something people really wanted to find. You know, love was something people really wanted to find and wasn't necessarily easy for some people, and it just felt like something that was definitely worth exploring. There wasn't a lot of support in that space for people on the spectrum in Australia. I think it was the same in the US, which is, you know, why you guys have your kind of peers dating boot camp and why you set that up, because it is something that, you know, I guess had been, you know, left to the side for a long time. People had concentrated on, you know, helping people find employment. But I think, you know, obviously finding love and connections with people is so important. And that was kind of the kernel of the idea, was just basically based on all the people we'd met and all the stories we'd heard from them. It just felt like there was this real kind of opportunity to explore that, as well as the fact that having met so many people, so many autistic people throughout that process, just realizing the diversity of the spectrum, and just how different everybody is. And I know personally I wasn't aware of just how diverse autism is, and how it presents so differently in so many people. And it just felt like that was a really great opportunity to showcase that as well, and to help audiences understand that, you know, if someone's autistic, you can't make assumptions that they're going to be a certain way. So yeah, that was kind of, it was all of that kind of came together, and we thought, look, let's try and make this series. You know, one of the interesting things when we were first pitching it, people were saying, oh, but you know what, everybody's going to be autistic on the show, is that going to just feel same? And the whole point was that no, it's not going to, and that's exactly the reason why we need to make it.
Yeah. And that also is a really great series. If people have access to Employable Me, it's really very, very well done. And so, you know, you just have a great track record here, Cian. As a follow-up to that, that question, you know, apart from the awards and the accolades, kind of the obvious stuff, I'm wondering how filming this series, maybe even also filming Employable Me, has changed you as a person. And, you know, in the case of this series, maybe also how you view love and dating.
Oh God, that's a tough question. I don't know. I'm not very good at self-introspection or self-analysis. I don't know, I guess just concentrating on a particular topic and, you know, working with all you wonderful people, I guess it makes you realize that the most important things are just, you know, truth, honesty, caring, you know, all the things that I guess we forget when people get caught up in society and all of its machinations. And, you know, just that the most important things in life are really just connection and being kind and being nice. And I think that's probably what I take away from it the most, is just how kind and generous everybody was, and that it would be great to have a bit more of that in the world we live in.
I don't know. I think that was very introspective. Well done. I think that was very well said. Thank you. Well, my next question is for Dani. Hi, Dani.
Good seeing you, as always, Dr.
Oh,
Laugeson.
you too, Dani. It's great seeing you. You are just so charming in this show. I can't even tell you. I just can't get enough of you. In this episode that we just screened, we saw you go on your second date with Solomon. And later you started to question, if you were a good fit. And then thanks to Cian and the production team's clever editing, which they did win an Emmy for, the episode ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, right? Where you told Solomon that you didn't think you were compatible. So,
true.
So spoiler alert. Okay, for anyone who hasn't seen the remaining 2 episodes, you can close your ears right now if you like. But for the rest of us, Dani, can you tell us if that was in fact the final chapter for you and Solomon? And also, can you give us a little update on your dating life?
All right, sure. Thank you, Dr. Laugeson. So originally, I didn't give him a third date on the show because after getting to know him a little better on the second date, I realized we do not have a lot in common. And it wasn't because he worked at Ralph's. I didn't care about that. However, during our first 2 dates on Love on the Spectrum, I mentioned animation to him a couple of times and he didn't respond at all. Also, I really wanted him to take it slow after the first date because I realized we moved way too fast during the first date. But then again, I was really smitten by him during the first date. That's okay. I don't really regret it. I had a wonderful time, but I wanted to get to know him better as a person, not just how he kissed. But he just wanted me to move really fast. That's why I didn't give him a third date. Not because I wasn't attracted to him, it was just because my instinct told me we weren't compatible. Like I said in the cliffhanger, it was hard because I didn't want to hurt him, but I felt it was for the best. However, that was not the end of it. After the camera stopped rolling, we started dating again, only to find out that my instincts were right all along. We didn't have anything in common. After a month and a half, I told him, no more dates. Again. And as far as my current dating life, well, I do get hit up a lot on social media, but I would never respond to a stranger asking me out, especially on social media. It's too creepy for me. So yeah. Insert crickets.
No, this is great. Wow, lots of intel there, Dani. Thank you for sharing. And
no problem.
It's great. You keep trying, right? Not everybody's going to be the perfect match for us. If it was that easy, everybody would be coupled, right? It takes time to meet the right person.
So I am just focusing on developing my animation company and taking care of myself. Someday I'll meet the right guy.
Yeah.
And like what Sandy says, she always tells me it's all about the right timing, right? What, Dr. Liz Laugeson?
That's right. It's all about the right timing and the right person. And the right timing is often about where we're at in that moment. So fantastic. You mentioned that you're kind of focusing on yourself and your animation. And that's actually a question I wanted to ask of you. Apart from dating, you also have a very successful career as an animator. Throughout the series, you talked a lot about your love of animation. And what our audience might not know is that you have your own company, Danimation. You can see it on the back of your screen.
That's right.
It's called
Ignite the Magic.
That's right. You even won awards for your animation. And you also are a mentor to a lot of young autistic animators, which I think is pretty inspiring. So can you just share with our audience some of the new and exciting things that are happening in your life, whether it be love or career or both?
All right, sure, Dr. Laugeson. So as far as love, I'm still looking and I'm not giving up. Although I have a BFA in animation and an MBA in global strategy and leadership, and I am going for my PhD in positive developmental psychology, my main focus is my animation company, which is the reason why I am getting all these degrees. I really don't do much of the actual animating anymore since I have developed a neurodiverse team that work with my company to do all the animation. I'm the showrunner now, and I try to apply my MBA to try to develop my company. That's what I mainly do nowadays. I don't really animate anymore, although people think that all the animation in my YouTube channel, if anyone saw my YouTube channel, is what I did. Some of the old videos are mine from when I was getting my BFA, but I don't have the time to animate anymore. My mission has always been to run an animation studio and to help neurodiverse youth learn how to get into the animation world because I know how hard it is to get into the animation industry. I've been trying diligently for about 15 years. At the same time, I tried to develop new relationships that my company, Danimation, can work with. For example, last couple of months, we have finished 3 major projects. First, I formed a relationship with CBS by doing all the editing for a live-action short film. Even though it was an animation, I did a little animation to the credits, but my main reason for doing that is to get to know the CBS team and for them to get to know me and my company. That's why I try to form relationships with major studios to show what we neurodiverse people are capable of. The second project we finished was a short anti-bullying animation and pilot for a non-profit, Boots of Bullying, featuring the famous voice actor Rob Paulsen, who is best known for the voice for Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Third, we at Danimation have animated and edited the opening title, interstitials, and end credits for the 2022 SIGGRAPH Electronic Theatre, and our work was presented at the SIGGRAPH 2022 in Vancouver, Canada this past August, with thousands of industry attendees, and was sponsored by Disney, which was great to see my company Danimation alongside with Disney on the credits. It has been one of the largest milestones of the year, next to being part of the Emmy Award-winning series. Other amazing news I have is that I will be speaking at 3 major events coming up.
Wow.
Can you guess?
Oh, we have to guess? Oh my goodness. Cian, Subodh, Aarti, Steve, any guesses?
First, the Stanford University Summit on October 24th, the Skechers Friendship Walk on October 30th, and the UBS Autism Roundtable in Philadelphia on November 16th. All 3 of these events are pretty major, and I'm hoping to forge more relationships for my company.
Oh,
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
that's wonderful, Dani. I mean, we are so impressed. Cian, are you super impressed or what?
Oh, Dani just doesn't stop. She's a machine, aren't you, Dani?
Oh,
right.
thank you so much.
Love it.
Oh, well, thank you,
Diligence is the
Dani.
key.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're so happy to hear you're doing so well. I'm so proud of all of these amazing accomplishments. Can't wait to see what's to come for you, Dani. I want to ask Steve a question now, if that's okay. We can kind of move over to you, Steve. You know, in this last episode we just saw, episode 3, we saw you create an online dating profile with the help of your friend and your personal assistant, Show Ray. And
Yeah.
I think our audience might be kind of curious to know if you went on any more online dates since the series, and if you could also give us some updates about your dating life.
You know, I haven't gone on any dates,
No.
believe it or not. And there are a lot of wonderful people out there that come around and approach us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking questions along those lines. And I tell them, well, I haven't really found anybody, but you know, it's all right. And they understand. They understand. They really, really do. And a lot of those people are very warm and very gentle and very patient. And we converse quite a bit, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to have friends too, but are you still interested in dating? Is that still something that is a priority for you?
You know, it is, and yet I'm not used to it. It's a whole different world.
Yeah.
And I'm a little nervous in some ways because I'm not used to it.
Sure. I bet a lot of people can relate to that. In fact, maybe even some of our panelists here might be able to relate to that too. You know, sometimes the hardest part is just getting started.
Right, right. I have a feeling that you're correct about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know, Steve, you were admittedly diagnosed with autism later in life. In fact, we learned in this episode that you received your diagnosis just a couple of years before the film or the show was filmed, right? I think I got that
right.
Yeah. So
exactly.
I'm kind of wondering, you know, how learning about your diagnosis and then shortly after being cast on this show has changed your life.
You know, I'm so glad you're asking. The funny thing is, I don't think I've ever been officially diagnosed, but you know what? I don't need to be, because I believe every bit of it. I really do. I know that something has been very different right from the very start, as far back as I can remember. And yes, and you know, the show has changed a lot of things in my life in many wonderful ways, connecting with people all over the place. Yeah. Walking out the front door at times when I least expect it, people will come up and really talk to me, and they're so understanding, and I feel a great connection with everybody, and that's a big deal. And also the whole discovery of the neurodiversity, along with the show itself, and working with Cian, oh my gosh, and his understanding and his patience, and amazing, beyond words, really. It was
great working with you, Steve. It was amazing. I was very, very happy to be able to tell your story and spend time with you.
Oh, you're so great. We'll have to continue.
Well, thank you, Steve. You're just such a sweet and kind soul. And it's just really amazing to sort of watch you on your journey as well. So thank you so much for sharing your story and opening up your life to all of us. It's really been, you know, a pleasure to kind of to hear your story.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah. So why don't we, you know, in the interest of time, to make sure we get to everybody, Subodh has been waiting patiently as his sister Aarti.
Of course.
And I want to go ahead and ask Subodh a couple of questions. So earlier, Subodh, we saw you go on your very first date with Rachel, and you were really excited, and you said that you were ready to start this dating chapter. But just like we were saying earlier, you know, sometimes the hardest part of dating is just getting started. So now that you have gotten started, can you let us know how it's going? You know, how's your love life? I think everybody wants to know all about your love lives.
I'm going to read this. My journey has had a lot of ups and downs.
Okay. Can you tell us about the ups and downs?
My ups are, I like going to social activities and communicating with her.
When you say her, are you referring to Rachel?
Yes.
Oh, so you're still seeing Rachel?
Then I broke up after dating Rachel for a year.
You guys dated for an entire year. Wow, that's impressive, right? That's a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. And it sounds like maybe you're still in contact, maybe as friends. Is that what you were saying?
Yes. And then we broke up last August.
Okay. Just this last August or the August before? Sorry, I like the details.
August.
Okay. Well, that's, you know, quite a success, I have to say, for someone who was new to dating and went on your very first date on the show with Rachel, and then ended up dating Rachel for a year. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't think many people can say that their first date ended up in a year-long relationship. So that's exciting. So Subodh, are you still dating now?
Actually, not right now. I'm still looking for a second girlfriend.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, it doesn't happen easily. I think most people will say, you know, take some time to meet the right person. You know, it's funny though. I feel like every time I email Subodh and your sister Aarti, and hello Aarti, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I feel like every time I email you, you guys are traveling somewhere. I don't even know if it's a coincidence or what, but it seems like you're always traveling lately. So we know from the show, Subodh, that you enjoy traveling and researching airports and cities around the world. And so what are some of the fun places that you've traveled to recently?
Recently, I just came back from a 2-week trip from Europe. And
Awesome.
the countries that I've been to are Germany, then on to a day trip in Austria, then on to Czech Republic, which is Prague, and Amsterdam, which is in the Netherlands.
Wow, that is quite the whirlwind trip. You know, Cian travels a lot too. I don't know, Cian, he might be giving you a run for your money there. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. What was your favorite part of the Europe trip, Subodh?
I just like the Amsterdam River Cruise and the Munich Oktoberfest and the car museums.
Oh, you went to Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Fun.
Wow, that's
German
pretty
beer.
full on. Did you drink some German beer?
Some of it, but not a lot.
You didn't like it? I didn't
Yeah.
like it either. We're not beer people.
Oh my God. Where are you off to next? Do you have any plans for travel in the future?
With Thailand.
Nice.
Wow, Thailand.
Nice. When are you going there, Subodh?
Just gonna look at the itinerary.
Maybe next year, not right now.
Okay.
We
If
just
you want to
got-
ask me for some tips, I'll give you some advice. I've been there a couple of times because it's close to Australia. Although 9 hours flight, that for us, that's close. So
Yeah.
But
That sounds amazing. Amazing beaches in Thailand. You know, actually, Dani, you've also been doing some fun traveling lately. And in fact, I think we were both texting each other in Ireland a few weeks ago. We were both there at the
indeed,
same time.
Yeah, because I remembered that. I had a good time, and it was my first time ever this year in Ireland, and it's a funny coincidence that we were at we're in the country at the same time.
Yeah, very cool. So did you do some other traveling besides Ireland this summer, Dani?
Well, I only went to England to teach animation. We had a successful first time ever London camp, and then before London we taught the Plymouth camp, the second Plymouth camp since 2019 because of the pandemic. Both of these camps are terrifically a success.
Very good. Well, I'm sure they are if you're involved with them. So, and nice that you get to travel and go to cool places in addition to that. So Aarti, I have a question for you as well, if that's okay. Thank you so much for being here. You know, so Aarti is Subodh's sister. She is also featured on the show. And Aarti, I've known you for years now, and something I've known about you for quite some time. And I think something that anyone watching the show can very easily see. And that is that you are such a devoted and supportive sister to Subodh. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I want to know if you could tell us, you know, what has it meant to you and your incredible family to have Subodh on Love on the Spectrum, and how has it changed your lives?
Oh my gosh. Well, first I have to say that anything that was shown on the show was due to the most amazing cast. So Cian, for creating this show, we're so grateful for putting the show, like putting autism on the map and putting so much awareness in the world, and for putting together such a great team. It was such an amazing experience. To answer your question, it's so strange. I mean, people have been saying that kind of stuff to us since the show came out. And it's so odd to us because, or to me at least, and to my parents, because to us, we're just kind of living our lives. Like, this is just how we were raised, and this is how things are. And when people were reacting and saying that it resonated with them and that they appreciated our family dynamic, it's like, that's so amazing that people are seeing it that way, because to us, it's just us being normal. So it's really, as I said, a testament to our parents, honestly, the way that they raised us and the way that they raised me to never, be ashamed of Subodh, the way that they're never ashamed of Subodh. When we live in a culture, in a subculture, in Indian culture, where there is a lot of shame about neurodiversity, people are not that accepting, or they weren't at the time when he was growing up. So the fact that they were always very proud and open about Subodh, and they were just relentless and so open about getting things done, whatever he needed. That's just the example that they set for me. But actually my mom is right here.
Yeah. Can we get her in the camera?
Yeah, can you come over? Yeah, she'll just be right around. We're in a little bit of a tight space, two of us, but she'll make it around.
Yeah, we kind of saw her a little bit before the screening. There she is. Hi, Anju. Good to see you.
I know I cry a lot on the show, and Cian made sure all my emotions come out. So, but I have one thing to say. We are ordinary people, and Subodh is special, and you made us extraordinary, Cian, and you made us look so good. This is a normal person, and it's totally. It's such a unique thing that has happened to us as a family, to answer your question. I mean, I never imagined, and thank you. Just I wanted to say, and thank you, Dr. Laugeson. I know Subodh has been through your peers boot camp, and he's been emailing you always to find him a girlfriend, and you did. And it's unfortunate that they found their personalities were a little different, but they were very compatible and great together. So yeah, I didn't continue on, but Rachel is an amazing person. And I wish somebody like Rachel or someone would find Subodh, and Subodh finds for him. And we look forward to that. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you to everybody who is here. And I'm not going to cry, and I'm going to go off the screen now.
Thank you. And I didn't do anything. You guys just, all I did was capture your wonderful, warmth and honesty, and yeah, you guys are the amazing ones.
I will say, as I said earlier, Indian culture especially, there's very little representation of neurodiversity and things that are just not normal. So to us specifically, it means so much to have someone who's Indian be so loved and so out there in the world. And we hope that it helps other families in India or in Asia in general, or just around the world, to help them see that this is how a family can be and should be. Don't have to hide them away. There are things to aspire to. Subodh didn't speak until he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And you can't even imagine how much he talks now. He will not stop talking. So it's so aspirational where he is now compared to where he started. So it's just, we're so grateful for this platform to show what is possible for people on the spectrum,
And acceptance. People come to me all the time, that especially Indian families, they have come to me and said, you give us hope. There's a message of hope and acceptance throughout the show. And people can see where they can go with autism. You don't have to hide them, or you can do more. There's always more to be done.
And that's to be said about everyone in the cast. Yeah. You guys are amazing examples of what's possible. I mean, to have someone who started her own company and is as successful as you are, Dani, it's really incredible.
You're my hero.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're amazing. And Steve, oh my gosh, I would love to meet you in person. And that'd be wonderful.
Likewise, I would love to meet you also.
Just like Subodh and I, we've met. Subodh, Aarti, and I, we all met during the remember the Emmys party?
Emmy party, yes. So
Two
great.
events.
Yes, so cool.
Now we need to do a reunion of the crew and cast of the season 1 of US version, and hopefully we get to meet everyone.
Oh wow, that sounds like a great idea.
And hopefully Northern Picture can arrange that for us.
Yes.
Well, we'll look into it. That would be great. It would be great for everyone to meet.
Oh.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much to Anju for coming into the camera. I know she wasn't planning on doing that. And also just on behalf of, all of the viewers, our audience here, we want to thank you for opening up your lives to us. And, it's just been very touching to see the journey that you've all been on. Dr. Estabio mentioned at the beginning that we had a surprise guest. You might have thought you just met that surprise guest. We actually have a second surprise guest this evening. So a big thank you to Elaine Hall for joining the panel, as she just turned her camera on for us. So Elaine Hall, you might remember, is a friend and life coach of Steve's. And so Elaine, welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome,
you.
Elaine.
So excited to see all of you, and wow, just congratulations. It's such an amazing show. Cian, you are a light. You bring such joy and authenticity to the world, and we're so grateful. And Dr. Laugeson, you've been a mentor of mine and a friend, and thank you. And Dani, I love you dearly. So great to see you. And yes, so wonderful to meet Subodh and your beautiful family at the event. And Steve, you rock my world. Steve is so humble. He has not shared that he's been doing voiceover and voiceover auditions, and that waitresses are giving him their phone number.
Oh my gosh.
So it's really been quite an extraordinary, and honored and happy to be here.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. By the way, Steve, you do have a good, voiceover voice, right? Or radio voice. I can see that.
Thank you so much. I love the sound of yours.
Oh, that's sweet. You're so kind. So kind. While we have you here, Elaine, I'm not sure that everyone knows this, but Elaine is not new to reality TV shows about living on the spectrum. In fact, years ago, you were featured as a cast member in another Emmy award-winning show called Autism the Musical. And you are also the parent of an autistic adult. You're a strong advocate for the autistic community. And so I think my last question goes to you, Elaine, and then we're going to open it up to a Q&A with our audience. So can you tell us, why shows like Love on the Spectrum are important for improving autism awareness?
Shows like Love on the Spectrum are so important for so many reasons. One of which, we need to see people like us on screen. And globally, as Aarti was saying, that we need to be able to see the diversity, to see the possibility, and to see the hope that shows like Love on the Spectrum present, as well as the exciting lives that Steve and Dani and Subodh and all of the other cast members are gaining because of shows like this.
Yeah, very well put. Thank you for that, Elaine. Well, I want to thank all of our panelists. We're not done yet, but I do want to thank all of our panelists for answering my questions. It has been a real treat to chat with all of you, to see all of you. Again, congratulations on creating Cian and being a part of, to our cast, such an amazing and inspiring show. I think it's really lovely when a show can be entertaining, but also inform and also inspire, kind of all at the same time. And I think that that's something that you all really done and captured in this series. So thank you. So now I'm going to toss it back to our UCLA Tarjan Center Director of Training, Dr. Jasper Estabio. We met her earlier. And Dr. Estabio is going to be moderating some questions from our audience. So again, thank you, everyone. It was great to see you. And we'll see you again soon.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dr. Laugeson, for moderating that panel discussion. I'm going to start us off and just let everybody know that you are getting so much love and gratitude in the chat. Everyone is just so happy to be here with you all. Subodh, Aarti, Dani, Steve, Cian, and Elaine, and special shout out to Anju as well. But there's just so much praise in the chat for you all. So I'm going to start off a question here, and I'll ask, I'm going to start off with Subodh. So Sunny Kim is asking morning, everyone. I was curious how you courageously agreed to be on this show and what motivated you to be on the show. Let's start off with Subodh and Aarti.
Yes, what motivated you on the show is the production crew like Cian.
Yes, I
What made
know.
you want to be on the show in general?
Is to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
I know. We love
I
a
think
goal.
what's interesting to say about Subodh is, I think, if I remember this correctly, guys, Subodh, you applied for the show without your family knowing. You sent in a video and applied, and you know, because you were really keen. I think you saw the call out maybe via the Semel or via peers, and you sent in an application, and it was a surprise to you, Aarti, when you found out he'd applied for it.
It was a shock. We were like, how did they hear about us? We had no idea. And then Subodh was machinating behind the scenes, and we had no idea. It was incredible. He was, like, honestly, I know it was touched on the show, but he had really, really, really been wanting a girlfriend for a long time. And Dr. Liz Laugeson can speak to that too. And he would call everyone we know and saying, when can I get a girlfriend? How can I get a girlfriend? I really want companionship. And so this was probably one of many ways he was able to, he reached out, and we were able to make it happen, which is just amazing. So yeah, it was all him, actually.
Yeah.
Really made it happen.
I know. I see that huge smile on your face, Subodh. Well, clearly going after your goals is very effective. And we're so happy to have been part of this journey and seeing you jump into the world of dating on the screen. How about Steve? Let's hear from you. What motivated you to be on the show?
Well, also wanting to get into a relationship and wanting to be real and open up. And I think that the discovery of my neurodiversity has given me a sense of relief, because I've had all kinds of thoughts in my brain for decades, you know, wondering how come I'm not this or I'm not that, and why am I like this instead of like that, feeling like I don't really fit in with a lot of people. And perhaps I don't, but you know, I think that I'm discovering the real Steve. And I am very excited to stay with that discovery. I really want to do that. And I'm all excited about dating. I'm just very nervous about it. You know, apparently somehow we have I think we have telephone numbers from certain ladies, but I'm just a little bit hesitant to call. I'm not sure how to handle it exactly. And I don't have the experience to speak of.
I know. I think a lot of the other comments and questions in the chat, Steve, we're also really commending you on your bravery and courage for being on the show and being vulnerable through this experience. But I have to say, you got, how many people are on this webinar right now? 110. And I think 110 people plus are rooting for you.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Yeah, all of us rooting for you, which is really, really wonderful to share. Let's jump over to Dani. What motivated you to be on the show, and you know, how you agreed in this whole process?
So what made me be part of the show is that because I've been so busy and working on developing my company Danimation, it's hard for me to find the right time to find the right person to go on the date. So I thought Love on the Spectrum would be a great opportunity for me to find the time to date someone. It's like I had a wonderful and excellent experience from getting to know people. It was like it opens my mind to see that there's some options to date, especially speed dating. It was so much fun. I had that wonderful opportunity, but then again, I still have to remain patient. Patience is a virtue for me. You never know, because it's about the right timing.
I think patience is a virtue for a lot of us, but it was so wonderful to be able to see you jump into dating and really to make that time for yourself. I think as we heard from Subodh, it really was a goal and he went after it. And so it's great that you've been able to have this opportunity to share that with us here. I'm going to jump over to a question to Cian. We have a behind the scenes question. Nicole Cortez is interested if there was any assistance behind the scenes with aiding with conversations, topics, etc., while everyone was on their dates.
No, in terms of like having someone, no, I mean, for us, the most important thing was to present the authentic truth of what was happening, and that, you know, people were on dates with the person they were meeting. Obviously, if somebody needed some help or needed to step away or needed some time out, that was absolutely fine. But no, I mean, what you see is the truth of what happened. So, you know, the most important thing for us in terms of matching people or trying to find someone that we thought might be a good match was based on, you know, we would talk to Subodh, for example, we would talk to Aarti, we would talk to Steve and find out what kind of things, you know, people would like to look for in a potential partner, and do our best to find someone that we thought would hopefully fit that bill in some way. So no, in terms of assistance on I mean, we're always there, and we're always, you know, there for people to talk to, or, you know, if someone wants to step away and ask questions, absolutely. But what you see is the truth of what kind of happened on the day.
And I think that really comes through as a viewer, and part of why so many people have fallen in love with the show is because it is so authentic, and presents this lived experience of all these individuals that are on the spectrum in such a real way. So I think that certainly shines through here. I'm going to ask another question from, let me see here, a wonderful question from Karen, just about this aspect of dating. So what is something new that you've learned about yourself and about dating after being on the show? Maybe let's start off with Dani. What's something that you learned about yourself since being on the show?
So what I learned from being part of the show is what I've learned from this wonderful experience is that I really have to get to know the person first before I go getting to go and, you know what I mean, kiss on the first date, because I just definitely need to get to know the person a couple of times. It always takes so much patience. That's what I've learned. And what I also learned is don't express yourself too far or too soon on a first date. Those are the most important things that I've learned. It's all about the boundaries, and it's also about setting the boundaries from the very beginning.
Absolutely. And I think it takes those experiences, right, to know what those boundaries are and when it's important to communicate it. I certainly think that rings through for a lot of people. Steve, how about you? What's something that you've learned about yourself and dating after being on the show?
Well, I have embraced my authentic self, and people have shown a lot of love, and they're giving me confidence that I don't think I really ever had. I may have at one point tried to pretend that I had it, but it is not going, or it wasn't going along with who I am in reality. And this is, without a doubt, a reality program. There's no question. As Shorey will often say to people when they approach us, what you see is what you get. And she's correct. And I think I just need to stick with being this person who I am, no matter what others think of me. And I know that I've always worried about that. And sure, that runs through my brain a little bit here and there. But you know what, though? It is really important to go with my own real feelings. And I'm learning that, you know, a chemistry that I might feel with a lady might be very real. And I'm learning that if I feel it, don't fight it. Go with it. and be this person who I am. And hopefully the other person might possibly accept me this way, which I would feel tremendously amazed about and very thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe there are people out there that are that way. I've yet to really experience it, but I feel it.
I think so too. I think we feel it too for you, Steve.
Oh,
Let's jump
thank
over
you.
to Aarti. What are some things that you learned about yourself or maybe about your brother since being on the show?
Oh my gosh. I learned, Subodh had never been on a date, as he said on the show. So, and we weren't privy to the date itself. Obviously, he was with Rachel on his own. So watching the show back for the first time, I always knew Subodh was such a sweet, lovely person, but watching him be on the date, it was so beautiful. It was so touching, and it was such a gentle, kind side that I'd seen in other settings, but to see him in that setting, it was wonderful. So seeing that side of him was just such a beautiful thing. The kite scene, that is a permanent memory for me and my family now. We loved watching that. We weren't there. So for me, that was like super, super special. In general, I have to say, Dani, I really resonated what you went through with Solomon, how you felt like it was going too fast, and you feel like your boundaries were being pushed. It made me realize that all women deal with the same stuff when it comes to dating. I've dealt with those things too, and it's really hard. So it really showed me that, even Kaylin had similar issues that I've had myself. So I think out there, just dating issues are universal, and we're all trying our best out there. And it's nice to know that, everyone is dealing with the same issues, no matter who you are, even someone as amazing as Dani or Kaylin or anyone.
That's right.
nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know I'm seeing a lot of nods on the screen right now. I think also one of the biggest things about this show and shows like Love on the Spectrum are that they normalize a lot of these experiences. We have neurodiverse individuals, and it's so wonderful to have this space to have representation of individuals who are on the spectrum or have various disabilities, but it also normalizes so much of their lives, and that it's not separate, but they have a lot of the same worries and experiences and difficulties in all of these different phases of life. And so I think that, as for myself as a viewer, that's been one of the biggest takeaways.
Definitely.
Yeah, if I can add to that,
Sure.
Dr. Jasper, that my single friends that are not on the spectrum have been so inspired by all of you to start dating, because they kind of said, they're older, and they kind of said, well, that part of my life is over. And because of your courage to get out there, it's really moved the neurotypical world to kind of get up and get out. So I think that's another, like what you're saying, of the universality of it. Mm-hmm. And also, I know for Steve and I have spoken quite a bit that he's set some very clear goals. Once COVID cleared up, part of the fear and the anxiety was, having a crew. There was a lot of protections. They were very aware of testing and things like that, and getting out there in the world. And so I think, Steve, I don't want to talk for you, Steve, but we've spoken about, that's one of your main things now is to start dating, right?
Yes, it is. I know it really is. It's something that's a giant world of adventure for me, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to handle it off the top of my head, but I'm just going to go with my real feelings. And, I think I'm going to allow a certain amount of the vulnerability to occur within inside myself as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Something
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
the hardest part, Steve, right? Just putting yourself out there and getting that profile up or going on that date. And I think that it's so inspiring to learn that you've motivated all these other individuals to also put themselves out there. I think that you should really give yourself kudos for that.
Oh, gee. I give them all kudos.
I know.
They're
kudos
so
all
great.
around. Yeah. Subodh, how about you? Anything that you've learned about yourself going through this experience?
Yes, I had a lot of experience dating with Rachel for 1 year, and then I broke up with her last August.
Is there anything you learned specifically?
Going out with her a lot.
Going out on dates, I think, right?
Going out on dates a lot.
I think Jennifer was such a amazing gift by the production. She really, really whipped him into shape. I think he learned so much, not just about dating, but socializing in general. I mean, all these different things. I mean, there's so many things that didn't make it to air, but she taught him so many things, and that's really been really helpful for his social life. So those are skills that he'll take forward into the rest of his life.
Absolutely. I know I'm seeing Subodh smiling over there. He's really thinking about how he's practicing all these skills, even all around the world. So that's a great opportunity to practice your skills with other people. Great. Yeah.
There is one most important thing I would say. After when Love on the Spectrum came out, and I've noticed a lot of people coming into me and wanting to take pictures of me. But the biggest majority of the people who are fans are neurotypical young age. They don't have, it has nothing to do with autism. It's like no other autism show has gone like this before. I was really surprised when this happened, and I felt so humbled and like, wow, taking pictures. I felt so honored for all the fans to take pictures. It's like
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that was going to be my follow-up question. Was anyone surprised at kind of the success of this show? I mean, Cian, you had the Australian series first, but surprises. I mean, of course, we're rooting for you, and clearly everyone has been so thrilled with the 3 Emmy wins. But were you really surprised with follows on social media and being recognized in public? You know, what has that experience been like navigating the post-show kind of celebrity? Maybe let's start off with Steve, since you jumped in over there.
Oh, you know, basically what Dani is saying rings very true in my case. And, you know, it's overwhelming and very amazing. And, you know, I can't even count how many people we run into who approach us, and just their conversation alone is amazing. And then, of course, to put the icing on the cake, many of them are having their picture taken along with me. And they ask if it's okay. And I say, oh, sure. And I just mention, well, wherever you'd like me to sit or stand. I don't always know the right position, but they'll say, oh, often they'll say, you're all right where you are. You don't have to move. And they take, I believe they call them selfies, if I'm not mistaken. And say it again.
Mostly very young.
And then most of the people are very, they're absolutely, of course, young, and they're wonderful. And, you know, it's amazing too, when they take these pictures, I look at how they look in these pictures, and they look really great. All these people are celebrities, as far as I'm concerned. They're all wonderful, so warm, so gentle. They keep me company. Oh my gosh. And they're so very understanding.
And Steve's not on social media, so you know, anyone who wants to catch a glimpse of Steve has to walk the streets of San Francisco, right?
Oh, that's right.
Gotta catch him in the flesh.
All those hills too. You'll get like buns of steel from those hills in San Francisco.
Oh, I'll get what's that from the hills?
You'll get really strong legs.
Oh, strong legs. Oh my gosh. I tend to forget, you know, Shorey and I, we walk upon them quite a bit. We don't go real fast, of course, but they kind of feel as if they're stretching the lower portion of our backs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Hello, Shorey, by the way. Hi, Shorey, hiding there. Hello.
We got our
there
third
you
special
are.
guest, I guess, of the evening.
Can you see? Oh, can you
Come,
see?
come in, Sherry.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Elaine.
Beautiful.
Hi, Shorey. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Likewise.
Sherry, come in the frame so we can see you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. I can stand here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you be comfortable.
Oh.
Hi. Hi, everyone. You're sure.
Hi, yes, we have to say that it's truly been such a joy to see how you support Steve throughout the series and really break down the skills, and just that scene when you're in the park taking the photos for Steve's online dating profile, I think is just something that hit for a lot of people and is one of those most memorable scenes, I think, of the series.
Thank you. I must say that this show has brought us even closer together.
Yeah, absolutely.
The care that I have for Steve is over and beyond being an assistant. I feel like he's my brother. He's the brother I never had, and he's a wonderful person. And I really wish a wonderful lady will be there for him. He deserves it. He really does.
Oh, gee.
And he is a star. The streets of San Francisco and other towns, it's amazing. People stop us right in the middle of the street and approach him. So he's shy, but yes, he's very popular.
Yes, I know. I'm also noticing on that note, speaking of all of our special guests, I'm noticing Dani's aunt, Sandy, behind you.
Yes, hello. There you are.
I just had to chime in on that one question because, you know, for us, one of the, biggest things that we get, or I get, talked about was when I gave her that shot of tequila.
But sorry, what needed to stretch?
We do. It's normal for us. It's not, it's we drink. We are an open-minded family. We have wine with dinner, and we do go out and have a. How did that father say? Libations.
Libations.
That's right.
But I think, Sandy, what a common thread has been across our conversations is really depicting that the lives of autistic individuals are normal, right? Yeah. It's not any different. They go through a lot of the same experiences, and we want to be able to show that, and we have been able to show that in a way that resonates with so many people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think
just regular, normal, everyday lives.
I mean, we all think you're superstars, but you are normal.
And when we were in Europe, Subodh can tell you, we had so many people approach us to the point where people would message Subodh on Instagram, seeing that we were in their city, and they would beg us to meet them. So we would tell them, we'll be at this museum at this time, so come on over if you want. And people would come by and they would be so excited, and a couple people started crying. And it's just like, as I said earlier, like we were just living our lives, traveling, and it was so amazing to have such love out there and all the way in Europe. My God, it was amazing.
I know. Well, I mean, Subodh, I have seen your TikToks, and I know that you're very active on there. You get lots of likes on all of your videos. Yes, I know. I think that our last question that I want to wrap up with, and I'm going to open this up to everyone, is what advice do you have for other neurodiverse individuals who want to begin dating? Why don't we start off with Dani? What advice do you have for other individuals who want to jump into this world of dating and romantic relationships?
The most important thing I would say is take it slow when it comes to getting to know the person. And remember, set your boundaries from the very beginning, because you want to make sure that you want to have a successful date. And most importantly, at the same time, be yourself.
Yeah.
Excellent advice. Yes. Steve, how about you? What advice do you have for those neurodiverse individuals who are jumping into this world?
You know, I love what Dani is saying. And I think for certain, if everybody is being exactly who they are, that's beautiful. And that alone is all they really need to do. I think that part is great. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I also enjoy what Dani is saying about taking it slowly. You know, I like that idea too. I do. I'm beginning to realize I think that's going to do me good. Also, I mean, it's sure we get attracted to somebody and sure it's exciting. Of course, it's just that there's something special about taking our time that I never thought about so much before, but I'm beginning to enjoy that idea. Absolutely. And you know, the other thing I want to say is for anybody that's going down that road, just you relax, enjoy, be who you are, and embrace it. And I'm going to start doing that instead of worrying what everybody else thinks of me all the time and being so very self-conscious.
That's hard, but I think that that's great advice, Steve. Let's jump over to Subodh. What advice do you have for other young adults who are getting into dating?
On getting out of the house even more and not sitting at home doing nothing.
Good.
That's good advice.
Yeah,
Good advice.
I'll tack on and say I think it's important to find someone, first of all, to find someone who's kind and understanding and patient. And I'll echo what Dani said, finding someone who's can be your friend is super important.
Yes.
And what else? Anything else?
And also what was the other thing? Is to increase the social interaction.
I think practicing social interaction, I think what he usually says is that if you socialize with friends, then it gives you more practice and more experience in socializing, so that helps you socialize with someone that you might want to date.
Yeah.
Something that we preach heavily in our house is to get out there, make friends, and connect with people, because it'll really help you connect with that special person down the road.
I think that's right. Good.
Practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes better, makes it easier, makes it more fun.
Right. Sure.
Also, I think one of the hard things for some people is actually, you know, where to meet people in the first place. You know, and I think what Subodh and Aarti are saying is really good. You know, if you find social groups that are involved in things that you're interested in, or find social groups that are set up for people on the spectrum, or depending on, you know, where you're at and what your interests are, you know, look for groups of support groups if that's going to help you. And just finding other people to spend time with and meet can be a good way to, you know, find people that might be a good match.
Sure. Right.
I know. Aarti, any other advice for maybe those of us who, you know, support individuals who are on the spectrums, or educators, others who work with individuals who are on the spectrum, how we can better support them as they're in the world of dating?
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful question. Thank you. I would say that what I try to do, because I actually Subodh and I live together. I don't know if people knew that, but he and I live together, and we've been living together for about 3 years now. So in general, I just say I try to have patience and understanding, because sometimes Subodh can't communicate what he wants, and I just try to understand the way that he communicates in his unique way. in general, it's supporting Subodh. It's just been a lot of listening and just being there and reassuring him whenever he's feeling anxious or feeling upset about something. We try to talk it through. I try to bring him back to reality and to contextualize things. So, you know, when he gets upset about something, or, you know, he's feeling despondent. Before the show started, he was so despondent that he'll never meet someone. And then I said, you know, it's so you're still quite young. You have your whole life in front of you. So I try to just bring things back to reality, because it's so easy to spiral out and into anxiety and stress. So so that's been something that I try to do whenever.
I think so. Yes. Again, going back to that normalizing, this is part of the human experience.
And honestly, Subodh says things all the time that I feel all the time as well. So it's a big, it's almost a humbling experience to see him going through the same things that I'm going through. And sometimes I don't have the answer, and I tell him, I'm always honest with him that, you know, I can't force someone to be with you, and I can't force someone to be with me either. So sometimes that's just reality, and you know, not having kid gloves with him and just being honest is, I think, really helpful for him too. It helps him be realistic with the world and how it is as well. So I think a balance between honesty and patience and phrasing things in a way that aren't in a catastrophic way. I think that's kind of where I try to be.
There you go.
No, I think so. Yes.
If I could add just one thing to that, you know, you're never too old to find somebody. I remarried and I was 50 when I remarried. And that also, that I always have to say is the person that you're looking for is out there looking for you. So the more that you are your authentic self, and the more you get out there, it just takes one special person. The more you get out there, you know, religious organizations are great to go to, and things that you enjoy doing. But it's just that person is out there just waiting for you. So being yourself and getting out there.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, if people are looking for support when it comes to social skills or dating skills, the peers program is, you know, is out there for people, and you know,
transformative for Subodh, truly transformative.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know. Well, I am noticing time. I'm sure all of us would love to be here for hours just to hear all of you talk about.
I've attended the peers program.
Yes. I know, me too. But it has been so wonderful to be here with our wonderful panelists. Cian, thank you for calling in from Australia. We have Dani, Subodh, Aarti, Steve, Elaine, and our special guests also, Anju and Dani, your Aunt Sandy. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you all this evening. Congratulations on the Emmy Awards for this season, such a huge win. And I also want to congratulate the show on the renewal. I know all of us are overjoyed with this news. So on behalf of the Tarjan Center, thank you to everyone for attending and being a part of our very first screening series event. And we hope to see you at all of our upcoming events for this year. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
Great to see you all.
Great seeing all of you.
Steve, and
meeting you, Dani, and everybody, all of you.
Oh, great to meet you, Steve. Well, we'll hit you up when we're in San Francisco next time.
Okay? You're absolutely reading my mind. I would love that.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
All right, take care, everyone. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. It's been amazing. Thank you.
I completely agree with you. All of you.
Thank you, Cian.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Cian.
Great to see you all. Thank you all. Thank you for being part of it.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Cian.
Always. And Elaine, wow. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Oh, is this thing going silent? Hello?
My joy. My joy.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Now you for a moment there, it was getting silent. Thank you. Great, Elaine. Very great.
You are
Wow.
great. All of you are great.
Oh,
Thank you so much for inviting me on the panel. I hadn't anticipated that. So
Absolutely, Elaine. It's been
thank
such a
you.
pleasure to have you as our surprise guest.
That's right.
And a huge thank you to Anju. I see your hand over there in the corner for jumping in. I was telling everyone earlier, it's been such a pleasure. I feel like I'm amongst celebrities today. Huge fan of the show.
You're not
Oh.
celebrities. You're not
Yes.
celebrities. So, yeah.
All
All right,
right.
we'll let you all go. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye.
evening.
Have a great one, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
Steve. Bye.
We'll
Bye.
continue.
Definitely.
course.
Bye.
We look forward.
Bye.
Beautiful. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
night.
Donnie. Oh,
Good night,
how
Steve.
beautiful.
Good night.
Oh,